In this video, we're going to talk about how to get free nights with Marriott credit cards by getting and using free night certificates, as well as some tips for how to best use them. If you're interested in this type of content, please take a minute to like the video and subscribe to the channel. We appreciate the support. So my wife and I currently have 3 Marriott credit cards which give us free night certificates every year. The first is the Marriott Bonvoy Boundless card, a Visa card from Chase, which has a 35,000 point certificate each year and has a $95 annual fee. The second is the Marriott Bonvoy Business Card from American Express, which also gives a 35,000 point certificate every year, has a $125 annual fee, and has the ability to earn another 35,000 point certificate after $60,000 in spend each year. And the last is a Marriott Bonvoy Brilliant Card from American Express, which gives an 85,000 point certificate each year and has a $650 annual fee. Now, for the first two, the annual fee can pretty easily be offset with just the free night certificates offered by the card, which makes it easy for us to justify having them. The Brilliant is a premium card with a lot of other benefits, such as Priority Pass, a $300 dining credit, Platinum status with Marriott, and other benefits. So the $650 annual fee can be offset not just by the certificate, but by the other perks if you're able to use them. We made a video on how to value a card's benefits versus the annual fee, and I will link that in the description below. I'm going to post our referral links for these cards in the description below as well. These are not affiliate links. We don't get paid for them. But if you do sign up for the card using a link that we provide below, we could get some Marriott points for a referral. So it's a great way to support the channel if you're so inclined. So these are the free night certificates, which I'm going to abbreviate as FNCs going forward here for brevity, that we receive every year from Chase and American Express for the credit cards that we hold. Now, there are other cards out there that offer certificates, however, and other ways that they can be obtained. Namely, free night certificates are often offered as a sign-up bonuses for credit cards, usually 50,000 point certificates, and sometimes as many as 5 certificates when they're running a promotion. Also, there's an Amex Bevy card and a Chase Bountiful card that both offer 50,000 point certificates each year after $15,000 spent on the cards. Now, these cards do have higher annual fees, and you do have to spend to get them. So I'm not going to cover them here other than just mentioning them. And there are also some older credit cards that are not available that may offer free night certificates, which we're also not going to talk about. There's also a 40,000 point free night certificate as an option for the 75 night annual choice benefit that you get from Marriott as part of titanium status or as part of getting to that 75 nights elite credits every year. And the Ritz-Carlton card from Chase also has an 85,000 point annual free night certificate, which we're going to talk about a little bit later. This card is closed to new applicants, but there is still a way to get it. So just some of the basics of free night certificates. Each one is good for one night at a hotel, and this includes taxes and fees. So if you use one, you pay nothing up front. Although sometimes there are small city taxes you have to pay at the actual hotel when you check out, usually only a few dollars per night. These do expire after a year. Marriott used to be willing to extend the expiration if you called them, but I've heard from multiple sources that this is no longer an option. They no longer do this. Also, you cannot combine them with a cash booking. So if you're staying 3 nights, for example, but you only have one certificate, you need to book the one night separately from the other 2 and ask the hotel to combine them when you get there. And lastly, you get no refund if you use the certificate for less than face value. Like if you book a 20,000 point night with a 35,000 point certificate. You can, however, add points if you want a room that costs a little more than what the certificate covers. So this brings me to what is one of our favorite things about Marriott's free night certificates, and that is what is referred to as topping off. Essentially, Marriott allows you to add up to 15,000 points from your points balance to meet the requirements of a room that may cost more than your free night certificate. So you could book a 45,000 point room, for example, use a 35,000 point certificate, and add 10,000 of your own points. Now, I think this is a great feature, and it makes these certificates so much more useful because it makes them less restrictive. A 35,000 point certificate can be used to book a room up to 50,000 points. And this also helps you get the most value out of your certificates. I've had situations where I've had to settle for a cheaper redemption, like using a 35,000 point certificate on a 20 or a 25,000 point room. But this allows you to get the maximum points value because you can top it off. I'll give you a recent example of the value of topping off free night certificates. In November of 2024, I stayed at the Courtyard in Nagoya, Japan. I did a room tour of this hotel, by the way, which I'll link below if you're interested. Anyway, I was going to stay 2 nights, a Sunday and a Monday night. The cash price for Sunday was around $225, and the points price was $37,000. The cash price on Monday was only $125 or so, but the points price was $33,000. So I used my 35,000 point certificate for Sunday night and topped it off with 2,000 points. Now, this got me $225 in value, and I had just booked a cash rate for Monday. Had I not had the ability to top off the certificate, I'd have had to pay for Sunday and use the certificate on Monday, which would have only then given me a $125 value out of the certificate. So even assigning the 2,000 points a 1 cent per point value, which would be $20, I still got much more value out of topping off that certificate and using it on the Sunday night stay. So just a note here, when you sign up for the credit card definitely does matter if you're looking to keep it long term. And this is because your free night certificate is awarded each year around the anniversary of the credit card. So it's definitely tempting to sign up for these cards when they're offering high sign-up bonuses. But try to time the opening of the card around a time when the free night certificates will be of most use to you in later years. Ideally, you'd be able to do both and get both the higher bonus and get it at a good time. So again, each certificate's good for 1 year, so you want these free nights to be awarded to you around the time you would be planning your next vacation. So for example, if you get the card in November, each year in November, you're going to get your free night certificate. So if you're booking summer plans at that point, you can use that free night certificate after November. And I'll give you an example going the other way. When I first got a Marriott credit card, I applied for it when they offered the 5 free night certificates, which I thought was a great time to do it. It was around May, and now I get the free night given to me around that time each year. So my wife and I usually take our biggest trip of the year in June or so, early summer, so I never have the certificate in time to plan that vacation. And the previous year's certificate always expires before the vacation. And we've timed our other Marriott credit cards better, and long term, this is the best strategy in my opinion, even though it's possible you may end up with a higher sign-up bonus when you first get the card. Now, as I mentioned before, we currently have 3 credit cards giving us free night certificates. So each year we get 2 35,000 point certificates and 1 85,000 point certificate. If you wanted to maximize the number of free night certificates you could get through credit cards, there is actually a way to get 2 35,000 point free night certificates and 2 85,000 point certificates each year, though it does require timing and jumping through some hoops, which I'll explain in a minute. So you could have the Marriott Business Card and the Chase Boundless Card giving you 35,000 point nights, and the Amex Brilliant Card, as well as the Chase Ritz-Carlton Card, which each give 85,000 point nights. Now this is great because you can then book a 2-night stay at a hotel costing 85,000 points per night each year without paying cash for that stay. So the Ritz-Carlton Card is closed to new applicants, but you can still product change an existing Chase card to it, at least at the time of recording this video. It's not quite that easy due to some complicated rules around eligibility for sign-up bonuses with these cards, so let me explain that further. So since both Chase and American Express currently offer Marriott cards, there are some complicated family rules between these 2 issuers around when and if you can get a sign-up bonus for these cards. There are charts out there on many of the credit card blogs, which you can find pretty easily. So rather than recreating that chart, which could change at any time, I'll just explain how you could go about getting these 4 free night certificates from scratch and still get the sign-up bonuses for each card. So I do want to say that all of these eligibility rules are subject to change at any time, and I'm not advocating any kind of shenanigans or misuse of credit card bonuses or anything like that. If you have the cards and use them, however, this could be a long-term strategy to get all 4 certificates. So first, you would apply for the Chase Marriott Boundless card. Second, after 24 months of receiving that bonus, you could get the Bonvoy Brilliant card and the Bonvoy Business cards from American Express. So you cannot get the sign-up bonuses for these Amex cards until it has been at least 24 months since you got the sign-up bonus for the Chase card. So that's not when you actually signed up for the card, it's when you receive the bonus for the Chase card. You wait 24 months at that point, and that's why there's that 2-year gap. Now you could do these in reverse order and get the Amex cards first, but if you do that, you'll have to wait an extra year to do this next step, which is available right away if you do it in the order I'm suggesting. So the next thing you would do is product change the Boundless card to a Ritz-Carlton card. Now, you don't get a sign-up bonus for that or any kind of upgrade bonus or anything, but you would be able to product change into that Ritz-Carlton card, which again is no longer available to new applications. So you cannot get the Brilliant card if you already have the Ritz-Carlton card. So make sure you get the Brilliant card from American Express before changing your Chase card to the Ritz-Carlton. And by the way, this card does have a $450 annual fee. And then finally, since it has been 24 months, you can go ahead and apply for the Boundless card again and be eligible for a sign-up bonus. So currently, Chase allows you to get the welcome bonus every 24 months on this card. So because it was the first card you'd got and it's been over 24 months, you would then be able to apply and get the bonus again. Now keep in mind, these cards give the free night award each year, but it's only after the first year you hold the card. So the first year you'll have them, you'll get the sign-up bonus, but not the free night certificate. And then if you keep them and pay the annual fee, you'll start getting free night certificates each year after that. So really it would take 3 years starting from 0 to be actually getting all 4 of these certificates. So now that we've talked about what the certificates are, how you can get them, and how you can use them, I want to give some tips that we've learned along the way to get the most out of your free night certificates. So first, try to use them in cities that have high taxes and fees. Remember, you don't pay the taxes and fees if you book with a certificate or with points, so use this to your advantage. My wife and I have had great success using these certificates in London and in Tokyo, where the first cash price you see per night often jumps substantially when you see the price inclusive of the taxes and fees. Also, remember that Marriott offers the 5th night free when you're booking with points. If you're looking to combine booking with points and a certificate or two, keep this in mind. A certificate does not count toward the 5th night free. So if you pay for 4 nights with points, you'll get the 5th night for free. But if you try to pay with 2 certificates and 2 nights on points, you're not going to get that 5th night free. Third, I always recommend that you look at the cash price of the hotel you're staying at and weigh that against the cost in points or what the certificate is worth to you. Now, I keep a spreadsheet on points and free night redemptions, and I try to maximize the value of my points and certificates. Marriott's award pricing is dynamic, and I try to get at least 1 cent per point value when I'm booking on points. This is not always possible on free night certificates, however, due to their limitations and the lack of flexibility, so don't let them go to waste. I purposely included an example in this video of a bad redemption, in air quotes, at the Courtyard in Nagoya, Japan. If you remember, the cash price of the hotel was $225 or so. And I topped off a 35,000 point certificate for 37,000 total points for the room, which is only a value of around 0.6 cents per point. As I said, I shoot for 1 cent per point, so it may seem foolish to have used it here. So why did I do it? There are 2 reasons. The first is I wanted to do a room tour video of the hotel, which again I will link in the description below. And second, this was a certificate that was in my Bonvoy account. And when my wife and I travel together, we always stay at Marriott's using her Bonvoy number because we have platinum status under her number and we're working on lifetime nights. Since I was alone on this trip, this was probably the only chance I'd have to use the certificate before it expired. and we often don't get much value out of my certificates since they're on my account. So since that credit card costs $95 per year to have, I'm fine with that redemption because the value I got exceeds the $95 annual fee, and the certificate would have expired unused otherwise. So don't let them go to waste. Remember, the worst redemption is no redemption at all. Please leave a comment below if you have any other tips or tricks for using your free night certificates. Okay, so now that we've covered how to get free nights with Marriott credit cards, you may be curious about some of the other things we talked about in this video. How to get status with Marriott, if it's worth it, and how your credit cards can help you get status faster. Well, we've made several videos on these subjects, all of which are linked below. Also, if you enjoyed this video and would like more content like this, please consider subscribing to the channel. So check out our Elite Night Credits Explained video to learn about how to get status with Marriott. Also, we made 2 videos documenting our stays and experiences as Marriott Platinum members in 2024 and going over the specific perks and benefits we got at each hotel we stayed at. We also made a video looking at Marriott Titanium status and whether we should go for Titanium in 2025. We also do a lot of room tours of Marriott and other hotels we stay in, so please check out our playlist below if you're interested in that. Thanks very much for watching.